Look, success is rarely defined by talent alone. It is shaped by purpose, by resilience, and of course the choices that we make along the way. Our next conversation explores what it means to build a career with purpose, embrace new opportunities, and create an impact beyond one's primary profession. To lead this conversation, please welcome Nabila Jamal back on the stage. And joining her is an actress who continues to redefine success with every step of her journey, from delivering back-to-back box office hits to winning hearts with her versatile performances, and from building a thriving entrepreneurial portfolio to, of course, gearing up for one of the most anticipated films of this year. She truly embodies talent, ambition, and grace. Please join me in welcoming the incredibly talented Rakul Preet Singh.
Thank you, Rakul, for joining us. 7 years ago, I met Rakul Preet in Bengaluru. She was as stunning then. She's still absolutely stunning. She was an actor then, and now she's transitioned way beyond just being an actor, an entrepreneur, a wife, and a...
I was like, what beyond entrepreneurship? Oh, yeah.
What beyond entrepreneurship? Being a wife is easy, difficult.
I think it's amazing. I think the best part is, good afternoon, everyone, firstly, before we dive into questions and answers. I think, touch wood. It's just been about 2 years, 2.5 years, but I think the best part is that we don't feel a difference. I think we both have sort of very easily, smoothly sailed into this phase, and touch wood. It feels great.
Yeah, Jackie Bagnani is also comes from a film family, and did that kind of pique your interest all the more in doing creative roles in films that you may have? Has any of that union changed your?
No, I think to begin with, when both of us started dating, it was a very individual approach. It wasn't like, oh, he's from a film industry, so great, he'll understand my profession. I think it was two individuals that really got along, are similar actually to the core when it comes to a lot of things, when it comes to our lifestyle. And beyond that, I think both of us also right now they take our own decisions. I don't think it's sort of influenced, but of course there are entrepreneurial sectors that both of us sort of do together because we have similar interests. Yeah. But I don't think creatively there has been an influence, because I think I've been an actor for many years. He comes from a certain journey, and we choose to not influence one another's decisions of what we want to do in our career. Having said that, yes, there are certain brands that we've co-founded together, that we're working on together because our ideologies match. So yeah.
Amazing. I started off because I know you're newly married and I wanted to touch upon that.
Not so new anymore. It's 2.5 years. But yeah, it feels like new.
Lovely. You're looking gorgeous. And
Thank you.
I know fitness is your beat.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And you've, apart from being an actor, I'll stress again, she's an entrepreneur where she's built brands around health and fitness and food that's tasty yet healthy.
Yes.
Tell us about your entrepreneurial journey before I jump into your South film career.
So I'll tell you, it was 2015 when I had my first brush with entrepreneurial, sector. I was barely 25. And because fitness was always a way of life, because I'm from an army background, and I think it is the way, it's an everyday routine. I started this chain of gyms called F45 in Hyderabad. So that was my first venture. And then eventually I always knew that I will try and experiment with different things. So there are certain companies that I'm investor in, like we were talking about well-being nutrition just right now, where I was one of the first investors. Then another brand that's very, very close to my heart is Arambam, which I don't know people in Bangalore if anybody knows of Arambam. It's a South Indian millet-based restaurant, which comes at an extremely affordable pricing. And the idea and the thought was, everybody I meet, they're like, oh, you know what, you're always on a diet. And I said, no, it's not diet, you know. Clean eating is not diet. Diet's a very depressing word. And, you know, I wanted to bring in that change that even like clean eating, you can have ghar ka khana, you can have home food with healthier ingredients and it can still taste the same. And that was the thought behind Arambam. And now we're over 40 stores in about 2 years all across the country. Largely in Bangalore, Hyderabad, a lot of Andhra, Telangana, Karnataka. We've gone to Madhya Pradesh right now. So Bombay on Swiggy. We're looking at a standalone.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's the growth there. Then Jackie and I have co-founded a wellness clinic called Nuvana. As of now, we have one space in South Bombay, but we look at expanding that across the country. And again, the idea was that when we travel the world to these, you know, wellness centers and wellness retreats, what makes them stand apart from what we have in the country is the kind of doctors we have. You know, why there are certain names which are very popular across the globe and people spend lakhs of money is because they have great team of doctors that address the root cause. And in the kind of lifestyle that everybody is in, with stressors, with, you know, mobile radiation, with the kind of burnouts that we have, it's very important to reset your body and align your body. And we wanted to create that space. Again, affordability coming into play, that not everyone should need to travel. So we have things ranging from Chinese acupuncture to, you know, your hydrogen therapies and red light and, you know, all of that.
Amazing. I mean, so you're really moving into that space.
Yeah, because, you know,
that's
it really,
booming right now in India and worldwide.
Absolutely. And can I tell you, it really hurts me. Like, it boils my blood when I see people. Yesterday, I met somebody who said, oh, you know what, if I'm diabetic, it's going to be a way for me. I have to work around it. But no, that's not the truth. You can reverse everything. If you have the right lifestyle, your body is a genius. It can reverse everything. And I think that's what I want to sort of push, you know.
I mean, yeah, you're a great example, a good brand ambassador. Rakul Preet is fit and how. What's your cheat day like?
I don't call it a cheat day. I call it a treat day.
Treat day.
Treat day.
Nice.
And then I don't think you should put that guilt of calling it cheat. But I'm somebody who eats, I will, even on my treat day, if you tell me to eat something that's deep fried or something that's white sugar, I think over the years it's just become a lifestyle where I don't want to do that. I can't do that. So even then, it'll be healthier choices, just larger quantity. So I'll eat like maybe a gluten-free crust pizza, but I'll have the entire pizza, you know. So yeah, that's my treat day. I eat a lot.
I wouldn't imagine that for an actor, eating a lot.
Oh, trust me, I can go crawling out of a room when I'm eating, like, because I can't walk anymore. Trust me on that.
You know, you're South India's sweetheart. You're here today. We're holding Rising Bharat Summit, the South edition, and Rakul Preet Singh was the fit face to have with us because of the number of Telugu films, Tamil films that she's done. And I should say, if one knows, she's also done a Kannada film in 2009.
One Kannada film, yes.
And so for someone who did not know the language, wasn't familiar with the geography, the lay of the land, she really cultivated and nurtured herself, grew in the industry, became so popular that now she's acing it in multiple languages, right?
I mean, I think God's great. That's all I can say. You know, the Kannada film actually was just by chance. I was just out of school. I'd done my pictures. I wanted to start modeling, and my dad said, turn 18 and start. So I was 18, and the third day I got my pictures done, and somebody got those pictures, and it's really fun. It's really actually amazing that the team at that point, they reached out to my dad and they said, we'd like to cast her. And I had no idea. I was studying mathematics honors. I'm a maths graduate. So I was in first year of college and I said, I don't know if I can find time for a film right now, but suddenly you get a film. And they said, we saw her date of birth and she's going to be a big star one day and we want to be the one to launch her. And that happened from someone in the Kannada industry. And I was like, what? They are saying this? They are very nice people. I want to work with them. And the reason I did that film was because I was getting paid in lakhs, like 5 lakhs for a first year college student, and I thought I will be the first one in my friends to have a car.
Gilly, what was it called?
Gilly, yes.
Gilly, yeah.
And I'll be the first one in my friends to have a car and I'll be the coolest. So that was my first reason of doing a film. But thanks to that film, thanks to the experience that I had in the Kannada film industry, that those 40 days of shoot made me realize this is what I love. I love the experience of being in front of the camera and I'd love to explore this. And that's what made me decide that I want to act, but I'll finish my graduation and then I will come back and act. And which is why there was a gap and then I debuted in 2013 in Telugu.
And very tactful move, right? Because Telugu, the fact is, it's the largest revenue generating industry.
There was no tactic at that point. Now you understand these
good
things.
Move, yeah, in
at
hindsight.
That point, it's like, when you're not from the industry, when you really don't know what is right, what is wrong, what should be the tactful move. I think for me, I've learned everything on the go. I had no idea. People would call me. After Gilly released, actually, I used to get a lot of calls from Telugu. And there are big films that I said no to because I was still in college and I felt short of attendance and they would throw me out. So I said no. And I remember Mr. Puri Jagannath had called me for some film at that point and he told my dad that ye degree kya gale mein tangegi, like what is she going to do? And my dad said, I can't force her to leave studies, I can't do that. And so I didn't know.
I hope you got your degree finally.
Of course I did.
What did you study?
Mathematics.
Wow.
So hopefully those numbers help on the entrepreneurial side.
That's what I was about to ask. Are you someone who's looking at the spreadsheet all the time?
I am.
To check on numbers, profit loss?
Let's just say that I'm good with numbers. Decent with numbers. If there's budgeting, I always tell Jackie, I said, put me on the budgeting side, creative you handle. That's a joke between us because I think I'm good with budgeting.
Hey, you're good with a lot of things because it's difficult to get to a place where, a city where you hardly know the language and then learn the language so thoroughly. I heard you speak in Telugu and I was zapped. That was beautiful. Yeah. I'm sure there are a bunch of Telugu people.
So the thing is that if I meet a Telugu person, I end up talking in Telugu. This morning, the driver who came to pick me up from the airport was Telugu and I start speaking. So every time I meet a Telugu person, because Telugu industry is the one that shaped me into who I am. And I say this very openly because those were my conditioning years. I was really young. I went to Hyderabad. I got a lot of love. I worked with all the actors that I worked with and the directors and those couple of years, the 7-8 years, shaped me into who I am. So before I transitioned to any other industry or Hindi, Telugu's been my home ground. So I think my soul is half Telugu.
Hey, why don't you give us a line? How is Bengaluru treating you, Rakul?
Chala baundi, chala baundi.
What?
So you're going to ask me a question in English and I'm going to say in Telugu?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
How is Bengaluru hege ansta ide? That's in Kannada.
Now, Kannada I don't understand. I'm not so multilingual. I can understand Tamil. You want to try Tamil?
I'm not that good at it. I can try Malayalam.
Okay, no, I'm not good at that.
Let's do. How do you like Bengaluru?
నాకు చాలా ఇష్టం బెంగళూరు యాక్చువల్లీ బెంగళూరుతో నాకు చాలా మంచి మెమరీస్ ఉన్నాయి నా ఫస్ట్ స్కూల్ బెంగళూరులో ఉంది
Which one?
ఇట్ వాజ్ అ స్మాల్ కిండర్ గార్డెన్ ఆశా కిండర్ గార్డెన్ అని అండ్ నా తమ్ముడు కూడా బెంగళూరులో పుట్టాడు కరెక్ట్ చెప్పాను కదా ఎనీ తెలుగు పీపుల్ కరెక్ట్ కదా
You get a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So, my brother was born in Bangalore. My dad's from the army, like I said, so we were posted here. And my first school, my kindergarten school was here. It was called Asha Kindergarten. So I have a lot of, yesterday this morning I was passing Cubbon Park.
Yeah.
And I used to go there as a kid and run around, so videos of that. So I was just telling my team, I said, hey, we used to come here and I used to call it Banana Park. So
Yeah, the nostalgia never leaves
the nostalgia,
you.
yeah.
Amazing. So give us a little bit about your film journey, Rakul. Today in a space where there's OTT, you have so much more talent out there, so easy to tap into, roles. There are multiple roles that people are essaying and they get opportunities. It's a lot more robust than what it used to be earlier, thanks to OTT. So in the face of OTT, how would you see an industry like Bollywood or Tollywood growing? And how are you finding your footing?
I think the way people consume content always keeps evolving. Initially there were theaters and then there was satellite. And then, slowly now OTT has come in. And I just feel the ways will keep evolving. The kind of content will keep evolving. But theaters will have its own charm. Certain stories will be for the big screen because the magnetic aura of certain stars, I mean, you like to see them on the big screen. You want to see that action. You want to see that dance on the big screen, right? You can't take that away. Having said that, OTT has created a great space for experimenting with content, pushing the boundaries. And I think it's amazing because it gives opportunity to a lot of new budding actors, or also for us to experiment something which possibly theatrically may or may not work, because at the end of the day, people, I think, have realized that they want to go to the theater and spend that kind of money if it's an experience. So I think both will have their own space.
Which one do you enjoy more?
I'd be lying if I say I haven't done a straight OTT show or anything. Of course, I've done a film, but I'd be lying if I say, I became an actor in the era of just theaters. So, of course, theaters, it's just a different magic to see yourself on the big screen.
And that excitement of the Friday box office.
Friday excitement, nervousness, yeah.
Tension,
you don't sleep.
sweating.
Yeah, you don't sleep till the reviews start pouring in, and then till the audience reviews comes in. So I think they've got both have their own boon and bane, and you gotta just there'll be just different stories for different things, and OTT has its own positives. There's no stress. That it'll reach a certain audience. I think what's amazing is that even if theatrically there are certain films that don't do well, not because the films aren't great, but it's just that how many films will people watch, right? They still find an audience on OTT. And I think that's beautiful because for every maker, the ultimate goal, or for every actor, the ultimate goal is that their film needs to reach the audience.
Was it your song that did multi-billion on YouTube? A movie, right?
Yes.
Tell us.
Yes.
I mean, that's a great example.
That's the first movie in the world to hit that number. Even
what
I
was
was
the
amazed.
number? So Rakul Preet's movie that didn't quite release the way it had to release on you.
No, it released. It released. It did. I don't know. Some portals were writing that it didn't do very well, but at that point also it did decently well.
Tell us the story, please.
There's no story. There's this film called Jaya Janaki Nayaka, where I play the central character of Janaki, and very senior director, Mr. Boyapati, the very seasoned director. And that film had released in 2017. It did decently well. It was an above average film on box office. So it wasn't like blockbuster, but it was a hit. It was given a hit verdict. And turns out 7 years later, about 7 years later, it's hit 1 billion views on YouTube. So when
no movie has hit that number on YouTube.
No movie has hit that number.
Yeah.
It's the first film in the world to hit 1 billion views. Now, look at the reach, right? I mean, who would have thought at that time that 1 billion people will watch that film? And it's very strange when I go to the interiors of it's really amazing, actually, not strange. When I go to, you end up going to the interiors of certain cities. You go to some place in Rajasthan or some place in MP, and your tier 3 has really consumed those films. And it's amazing. I mean, that's how you get the reach.
Yeah.
And who would have thought? Like, none of us thought. So the day I got this news, I actually went on YouTube and I was like, really? And I literally typed, I said, is it a fake news? And then, of course, we got the official messaging as well that it has.
Yeah, I remember we covered it as news, as piece of news.
Right.
So lovely. So the shelf life that there is on digital is insane. And on
I think
OTT as well. All right, we'd like to, of course, welcome Chief Minister of Karnataka, D.K. Shivkumar, joining us here.
A huge, huge round
Before
of
we
applause
have- yeah,
for the Chief
thank you.
Minister of Karnataka, who joins us here at the Rising Bharat Summit.
Let me also thank Rakul Preet.
Thank
If
you.
we can just have